Oh, yo, the patch notes just dropped for tomorrow's update. And starting from the top, Agent Smith joins Multiverses. Okay. So we got Agent Smith, free for all, count system badges should now, blah blah blah, a whole bunch of random stuff. But getting into the actual changes, the looks like Space Jam is going to be joining the battle. Space Jam 2 specifically, if you haven't seen this map, that's because it's only in training mode. This map was not available in custom games or online, but now it looks like it is. It looks like a way better version of Court as well. And getting into character changes for tomorrow's update, we have Arya, her grounded dash attack, updated knockback to hit more consistently, so that's a buff. Air grounded neutral special fixed an issue where Arya would float into space. I've never seen that. So I guess that's also a bug fix slash buff. Two buffs to Arya. Now this is where shit gets spicy. Reading this Banana Guard stuff. Um, Let me see if I can zoom this in for y'all a little bit. Here we go. I'll just keep zooming it in for y'all so y'all can read this a little bit better. Um, so Banana Guard's aerial neutral attack has a 5 frame better on branch hit window, which means if you connect that move, it has 5 frames. The way I interpret branch window is, think about it like a tree. A tree has a branch that connects to a leaf. So the branch window is connecting a move to another action, whether it be a dodge or, you know, another move. Basically, that's how I interpret it. So 5 extra frames, basically just a buff to um, neutral air, which is huge because Banana Guard's Nair is basically useless. Really stubby button that you couldn't throw out. Air side attack damage reduced by 1. That's just pointless. On whiff, okay, so you can't just whiff side air. That's pretty huge buff. I mean, nerf. Pretty huge nerf. Uh, so his strength buff is now consumed after a successful hit, kind of like how Shaggy's worked. Once you get that charge, uh, that first hit you connect, you're no longer going to have a charge after that. It's pretty healthy change to Banana Guard as well. Um, this is where things get interesting. So his grounded down special is the move where Banana Guard cries. On hit, you're going to be able to cancel it 26 frames earlier, which means it's probably going to combo into things. And as some of y'all know, Banana Guard has a signature perk where if he cries on you, you get stacks of ice on you as well. So I'm interested to see the combo routes out of ice because you're going to be able to cancel this move 26 frames earlier, and it's going to start by icing them, giving them the ice debuff. So I'm interested to see if he can do cry into nair, into forward air, or if he can just do cry up till. We're gonna have to see tomorrow, but that's pretty huge buff for Banana Guard, and grounded side special on with another nerf to that, but that's fine. That move needed to be adjusted. Moving on to Batman, dash attack nerf on whiff branch window delay for 8 frames. Basically, he's not going to be able to dodge out of a whiffed dash attack as fast anymore by 8 frames. That's the way I interpret branch window. If y'all in the comments know the actual technical definition for branch window, please let me know. But I'm pretty sure he cannot basically dodge or throw out another attack for 8 frames. It won't be able to branch into anything. Also, his Bat Bomb got a nerf where in 2s it cannot stick 2 enemies at once. That was a bug. And last but not least, his dive kick got a nerf. His leg hurt box was increased, so it's going to be easier to hit Batman out of his dive kick, which is pretty huge because that move really hard to contest off stage. Into the Black Adam nerfs, Black Adam cannot up tilt into up tilt anymore, so grounded up tilt. Lightning Strike projectile now has a 4-second cooldown, so if he goes for up tilt and tries to do a second one, the Lightning Strike is not going to happen, which means up tilt into up tilt is no longer a thing. He won't be able to just mash up tilt forever and ever. His grounded down attack has increased knockback, so it's not going to combo into itself. He can't do two of them and they're both going to hit you, which is a pretty good buff. I know it says plus. I mean, it's a pretty good nerf, and I know it says plus, which is normally buff, but sometimes buffs are nerfs. Also, on hit branch window delayed. His up air is not going to kill as early. The knockback was reduced from 1750 to 1500. Basically, his up air is not going to kill you at 40% if he lands it at the top of the blast zone. And last but not least, his clap visuals now better match the hitbox. So basically just a visual change for clap, not an actual change. And moving on to look at all of these nerfs for Bugs Bunny. Oh my goodness. Let's get into these. His neutral air is not going to be able to neutral air into itself. That's basically what these mean. You can scientifically diagnose what those mean, but basically you cannot nair into nair. And that's what those nerfs are. That's an absolutely amazing nerf. Attacking safe will now only knock back the safe on the last hit. So safe is not going to 0 to 100 you anymore. You're not going to get hit by safe and insta-die to a combo from safe. They might hotfix this if neutral attack too difficult. So they're scared that they over nerfed him. Basically they're saying that we'll keep an eye on this. We might have basically sent Bugs Bunny to the fucking grave site with this change. His up air got a nerf. Hitbox active duration reduced by 2 frames. It's not going to hit you 10 years after he throws it out. Pi got a hurtbox buff. I'm not really too sure what any of those mean for his no Pi down air or air down attack. What is that? Just his down air? Is that what we mean? Air down attack, down air? Yeah, but no Pi. So his aerial momentum is maintained. So is he gonna fast fall while he dares? Because when Bugs does a dare, he kind of floats there in place. I wonder if that means he's gonna fast fall like all the other characters. Enemy attacks only do 1 damage to the safe. Armor break hits immediately, safe destroyed. Okay, the safe health is reduced from 16 to 3 HP. It's gonna have 3 HP on safe. I mean, safe is no longer a threat. The aerial ground special, that's his tunnel. On hit branch window delayed by 5 frames. He's not gonna be able to jump out of his tunnel and insta nair you or insta up air you. It's gonna be delayed by 5 frames, giving you an extra window to either DI or dodge. So that's another nerf. The knockback is more horizontal, so you're not gonna fly up and die on 80% to a Bugs Bunny tunnel. Lower the platform height, pushes, and blah 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 blah. And then he also got a lingering love perk buff. Now has a melee hitbox while projectile spawn is on cooldown. So when he does the kiss, he's actually going to hit you with his fist if he doesn't have his little heart on cooldown. And interestingly enough, Marvin got a few nerfs. I've already read these patch notes earlier on stream, but I figured I'd go over them more in depth for the video for y'all. So his grounded neutral attack bubble projectiles now have a minimum additional lifetime of 5 seconds to prevent projectiles from breaking immediately. Don't really know what that means. I've never played Marvin. Y'all can really kind of read these ones, and if you're a Marvin main in chat. But the big one is the projectile of his grounded side attack got reduced from basically 5 seconds to 2 seconds. I don't know who out there was complaining about Marvin's side attack needing to last less. If you did, fuck you, because that's pretty rude. And they also fixed an issue where a flag would fall through platforms, so that's pretty cool. Into the Morty changes, Morty got a buff to his hitbox startup time on hammer. He got a nerf to Sayer 2, the hitbox active duration reduced. Air/ground neutral special, grenades now properly blocked by projectile. Don't really know what that means till tomorrow. Grounded side special, which is dirt, splitting a grenade now properly spawns 2 grenades moving in opposite directions. That's a buff. So the grenade's gonna split on the rock and they're gonna go like that. Pretty huge buff because it's gonna allow so much more stage control, especially in 2s. But if you do whiff dirt, you're gonna have 10 frames of basically whiff recovery or off on branch window delay frames, whatever the hell. And then they nerfed the hammer perk, the hammer time perk, where if you whiff this, you have 15 extra frames once again, and the horizontal movement is reduced. Moving on to Reindog. Looks like they buffed Reindog. Once again, I don't play Reindog, so you can kind of read these on your own. I have it super big on screen. You can pause it. Basically, looks like they just buffed his grounded neutral attack, which is, I believe, his projectile, right? His neutral attack would be his projectile. And then his aerial up special, he now flies more horizontally. Just some tiny baby buffs, some changes to be exact. Rick, bit of a stickler Meeseeks signature perk returns. Is that Golf Club Meeseeks? Is that what his signature perk is for Golf Club Meeseeks? That's pretty cool. Perk effect Rick's Meeseeks deal extra damage to fighters that are already in hit stun. Oh, that's the one with the... Okay. Okay, so they're gonna try to bring back some golf club combos in the portal. That's pretty cool. His grounded side attack 1, which is his jab, got reduced, so that's actually pretty cool because Rick's jab was pretty... Y'all know what I mean. His jab was something, bro. Rick now takes priority through portals if he attempts to spawn a second portal. I don't really know what any of that means. I don't play Rick. We'll see tomorrow. Y'all Rick mains can tell me in chat what all of that means. Moving on to Shaggy, bunch of nerfs. I don't even have to go through these. Just don't play Shaggy no more. Switch to LeBron. I got guides up. I'm going to be updating a new guide after this update for y'all. Don't even play Shaggy no more. Just join us, bro. Join the LeBrons. But basically, you can no longer up tilt into up specialist, what they said earlier in the preview. And they also reduced the damage and the knockback. And the knockback is more horizontal. And Hangry Man, the fast charging perk, got a nerf, so now the charging is extended, which means it's going to take longer. Alright, and moving on to Steven Universe, it looks like he got a lot of nerfs. Earlier in the past preview, if you weren't there, they kind of explained all of these, so I basically know what they did to Steven. They basically didn't want him to parry things and have a shield protecting him all at the same time, so I'm assuming that's what we're about to read. Fix an issue... His passive neutral dodge, yep, so you can no longer really parry and have a shield out for free. You're going to be able to be punished. His grounded up attack knockback multiplier reduced. Attack no longer classified as a projectile hit for his neutral air. That's huge. His neutral air is no longer a projectile, means it won't work with That's Flammable Doc. It also got a bunch of branch window delay frames. Aerial down attack, he also can't whiff that move anymore. It also has a startup of 1 extra frame. Repeat move locked out, that means you can no longer dare into dare. You're going to be locked if you try to do that. His air / ground side special spawn shield no longer counts as solid ground. Oh, so he's not going to refresh his jumps on his platforms. That's pretty cool. Now takes damage on fighter terrain. Bounce will break after 3 bounces. You also cannot refresh your jump on them. Grounded down special. Fix an issue where animation will not cancel if Steven became airborne. Doesn't really matter too much. And hitbox reduced on his down special in the air. Stripe can no longer infinite dynamite. He's going to have a cooldown on dynamite. And moving on to Superman, we have the Flaming Riente. Oh, okay. Perk. Superman's leap attack is stronger and ignites enemies. That's actually pretty cool for Superman to have. And it leaves a firewall on the ground. That's pretty cool. Grounded up attack, hit stun reduced. Air ground neutral special no longer infuses projectiles with ice above 6 stacks. Oh, so there was an issue with Bug's safe and Superman where he could sit there and infinite ice breath a Bugs Bunny safe, and then if you got hit by that safe, you would get 15 stacks of ice on you instantly. So they're fixing that. Only it caps out at 6 on projectiles. His Superman grab, fix an issue where Superman would drop a fighter if the button was released too early. Fix it. Okay, those are just bug fixes. Aerial up special, on branch window delayed by 4 frames. Okay, so basically nothing good on Superman. We're gonna move on to Velma. And they fixed an issue where Velma would get stuck to any fighter. Yeah, that needed to be fixed on release. Fix an issue where evidence would stop randomly spawning on the map after Velma was wrung out. Grounded side attack, which is her jab. Grounded side attack 2, which is her jab. Both of those got buffed. Grounded up attack, which is the light bulb move. Velma can now hold forward to slide forward during the startup of it, so she can aim where her. Okay, that's pretty cool. Neutral attack. Velma can now aim the megaphone. Velma might be cooking, chat. Okay, and I'm not going to read through every single Velma buff. If you're a Velma main in chat, here it is on screen. But for the most part, Velma looks like she's eating good. You can now aim your megaphone, I'm assuming up and down, and your jab's buffed. It looks like speech bubbles buffed. Aerial side specials buffed. Grounded down special fix an issue where she would fall to her. I mean, she's kind of cooking, bro. Velma meta might be back. And moving on to Wonder Woman, we can pretty much assume what's going to happen to Wonder Woman. Basically, a whole lot of nerfs. Like I said, for these long ones, y'all can stop and read. But basically, they want to make her feel a little easier to play against while slightly toning down her KO power. They basically nerfed her air side attack, which is her Sayer. The knockback is going to be reduced as well. Grounded up special, hitbox delayed by 2 frames. It's not going to come out as fast. Aerial up special, also delayed by 2 frames. It's not going to come out as fast. And her armor cooldown increased to 33 seconds from 28. The Shield of Athena perk fixed an issue where Wonder Woman could block ally projectiles. I guess that's a little bug fix. And moving on to Finn, these look like buffs to all my Finn mains out there. I had so many people in my chat, Chris, Finn got buffed. No, he didn't. So for his grounded neutral attack, the knockback scaling is higher, which means it will not combo into the next move as easy. If something is pushing your opponent farther away from you, that means you're not going to have an easier time comboing them. Same thing with his grounded up attack. That's him running around with his up tilt. The knockback scaling is increased, which means he probably won't be able to follow with Nair afterwards or just backpack, which is pretty huge. And then they fix an issue where his attack was not breaking armor. So pretty much just balancing Finn to make him not such a 0 to death monster. And we got some Garnet buffs, it looks like. Now applies repeat, blah blah blah. Hit stun reduced, which is pretty swag. That's not swag, actually. I just reread that. Hit stun reduces. Why? But the knockback's increased by basically 100. Advances 5 frames faster. Grounded down attack. Okay, so she can move 2 frames faster out of it. Her down special, placing the star will automatically adjust its position to prevent Garnet from bringing herself out. Gauntlets no longer spawn if a star. Okay, so just a couple of Garnet buffs, nothing crazy. Once again, I'm not going to read all of these. I'm kind of just going to skim through them from here on out, because if you are a main of these characters, you can stop and preview them. I have it on screen. But for the most part, they fix an issue where Gizmo is no longer a zoner. They don't want him to be a zoner, so all of these are basically nerfs to stop him from zoning. And somehow, some way, Harley Quinn mains were able to convince the devs that Harley was actually bottom 3. So they gave her some of her combo game back, but they nerfed her bomb. If I'm reading this correctly, basically they gave her some of her pressure back, but nerfed her bomb. And Taz got a grounded down dash attack fix or buff. He got aerial side attack buffs. He got some nerfs to neutral attack and grounded up attack. He got some buffs to his down air. The second hit is going to insta-kill you now. Instead of being 440, it's 1250 now on knockback for that second hit of his dare. And they fixed a couple issues where you could get stuck in a Taz eat loop infinitely. Tom and Jerry got a buff to his jump speed and height. I don't know why. I don't know who out there was complaining that Tom and Jerry couldn't jump high. They fixed an issue with Jerry, and then they fixed an issue where Jerry would not start on cooldown. Getting into Joker, I am going to read all of these. So basically Joker's card got nerfed, his wild card perk, that got nerfed. His grounded dodge got nerfed as well. meaning he can't just dodge and slide across the map like a crackhead. And his jab also got nerfed. He can also no longer double side special or double down special. And that's basically all the nerfs. Pretty hard nerfs for him, to be honest. He's definitely going to have to think twice about approaching for free. He used to be able just to approach and dash right out of there like a crackhead. But now, definitely going to have to think about approaching a little bit more. Iron Giant allies can no longer enter the pilot while Iron Giant is in a grabbed state. Aerial side attack hitbox adjusted, so it's not going to hit people behind him. He didn't get as many nerfs as I thought he would, I'm not going to lie. He got 1, 2, 3 nerfs. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Moving into Jake. So Jake got a up air buff, a neutral air buff, and a forward air buff. Jake's going to kind of feel a little bit more like old Jake, and I'm assuming that's what they went for. They want to make him feel more like an aerial bruiser and less like a bite spammer, which is, I mean, these are really good buffs for Jake. Personally, I'm a secondary for Jake. The only two characters I play are obviously LeBron, and then I play Jake as well on the side. So I'm really excited to see how Jake feels tomorrow. Jason also got a buff to his jab. They fixed an issue on his mattress where it would basically not vacuum them into it like it should. His aerial neutral attack startup window is reduced, so his neutral air is going to be faster, his jab is going to be faster, his down air is going to be faster, and sleeping bag is no longer a projectile, so you can no longer team combo like a Marvin shot with the sleeping bag and they would insta die, or you can't just portal them with the sleeping bag. There were a lot of crazy things. But y'all see what I see. LeBron James. I've already read all of these. They buffed dash attack with a ball and without a ball. Moving on to his grounded neutral attack, which is the armor move that he has with his shoulder. The hit startup after charge advanced 10 frames. I have no idea what that means, but it's a buff, so hell yeah. Maximum charge time increased. Required charge time amount for armor increased by 4 frames. That's basically just to compensate for this. Grounded side attack fixed an issue where dodge attack momentum was not properly conserved. I never really knew that was an issue, but I guess they fixed that. And this is what's kind of weird about it, about the LeBron changes to me personally. So his down tilt has increased knockback and damage. I don't know why they're taking this route, because LeBron has certain combos where you can do jab, down tilt, and you can dash and do a down ball. But if they increase the knockback of this, that's no longer going to work on stage. The knockback was also made more vertical, so maybe we'll see. You can't really tell what they mean by more vertical. We'll see what we can cook up with. Obviously, I'm going to hit the lab with this new down tilt and kind of see any routes I can cook with it. But basically a buff to down tilt and a nerf at the same time, just an overall change to down tilt. His neutral air though. Neutral air hits more reliably into combos. That's what we needed. LeBron's neutral air really would drop. That if you would always hit the first hit but not the second hit of his neutral air, or you would hit the second hit but not the first hit. So they're making it where you're going to hit both hits of neutral air, which means you're going to confirm into up air a lot easier. You're going to have an easier time killing if you input neutral air. But they removed you being able to do double neutral air. I'll take that trade any day. Fuck double neutral air if you make my neutral air better. I'll take that. Aerial side attack startup frames increased by 4 frames. That's pretty huge, and the knockback scaling increased to 19 instead of 15. So it's actually going to be a valid kill option for his forward air. His forward air is basically a useless move, kind of like a combo extender, except you would never use it. So I might start having to use this move more. It looks pretty damn good with these buffs. And his air/ground side special, which is dunk, startup on hitting ground increased by 6 frames, and hitbox size increased. So dunk is going to have a larger hitbox size. I doubt you'll be able to combo into dunk. Don't get excited. But it definitely looks like it hits the ground faster and it is larger. And then the interesting change is fence. You can now fence on the ground and move at the same time. We're not going to know what that looks like until tomorrow, but I can pretty much guarantee you're never going to need to be able to move and fence at the same time. If you have a projectile flying at you, you're not gonna want to fence. You're you're gonna want to fence. You're not gonna want to walk while you're fencing. Uh, Pretty strange changes, but um, that's it for the patch notes. I guess we're gonna load up tomorrow and see how it goes. If LeBron is changed a lot, I'm gonna drop an extended LeBron guide, kind of going over all of the changes. If he has any new combo routes, if he has any new kill confirms, I will be making a new guide if I need to. Um, but thank you all for 2,000 subscribers, and I will see y'all in the next video. Hopefully this patch is amazing. These patch notes look really, really promising, but you never really know until you load into the game. So we'll see tomorrow, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.